Dear friends, welcome to the serial lectures on traditional Chinese culture. Today, we will work on Taoism, the only indigenous religion of China. I'd like to begin with a painting, Three Vinegar Tasters. In the middle, we can see a vat of vinegar. Three tasters are sitting around the vat of vinegar. Confucius is having a sour look on his face. Buddha, in the middle, is wearing a bitter expression. Lao Tzu, with long beard, is smiling. Shall we try to interpret the painting? The painting is intended to be allegorical, and each of the three men represents one of the three teachings of China: Confucianism, Buddhism, and Taoism. The vinegar they are tasting represents the essence of life. Confucianism saw life as sour, in need of rules to correct the degeneration of people. The lofty ideal is to enter the world, to rule the country. Buddhism saw life as bitter, dominated by pain and suffering. Taoism saw life as fundamentally good in its natural state. The lofty ideal is to escape the world, to be detached and secluded. Confucianism, Taoism, and Buddhism are the three main ideological streams of China. Here we can see Confucius, the great sage, Lao Tzu, the supreme patriarch, and Sakyamuni, the Buddha. Chinese people are very tolerant as to religion. In some places, the statues of Confucius, Lao Tzu, and Sakyamuni are enshrined together, side by side. Taoism is the only indigenous religion of China. It is the only religion that came exclusively from Chinese root and grew to maturity on Chinese soil. How many Taoist believers are there at home and abroad? It's rather difficult to calculate. There are so many Tai Chi practitioners in China, and the Tai Chi is the Taoist cultivation. In China, the god of wealth is very popular. Almost everyone worships the god of wealth, the Taoist deity. The god of door and god of kitchen are also popular with Chinese people. Chinese people worship the ancestors. They offer sacrifices to ancestors on pure brightness. Ancestor worship is the Taoist belief. Chinese people attach much importance to health maintenance or health preservation, and Taoism seeks for longevity and immortality. Chinese people respect and worship the heaven. The complete harmony between man and nature is the Taoist pursuit. Worldwide, there are also Taoist adherents in Singapore and Malaysia. However, there are very few Taoist adherents in Western world. The great literary figure Lu Xun said, China roots deeply in Taoism. If one wants to comprehend Chinese history and culture, one must comprehend Taoism first. Chinese people are accustomed to Taoism. Have you noticed that sometimes people say Taoism and sometimes daoism? Both are right. Daoism is unaspirated, similar to its phonetic transcription, to its phonetic spelling. The aspirated sound Taoism is more widely used and more popular. In America, people usually say Daoism, while British people tend to say Taoism. Here is the Chinese character Dao, the lesser seal character, meaning the path, the way. On the left is the image of a foot walking. On the right is the image of a hairy human head. So the character means the way of the ancients. Shall we come to the categorization of Taoism? There is debate over whether and how Taoism should be subdivided. To my understanding, it can be divided into the following two categories: philosophical Taoism and religious Taoism. Philosophical Taoism is a philosophical school based on the text Dao De Jing, classic of the way and the virtue, written by Lao Tzu, later carried on by Zhuangzi. Religious Taoism can be traced back to the late Han Dynasty, Eastern Han Dynasty, and later including the True Unity sect in the south and the Complete Unity sect in the north. In addition, there is folk Taoism, the secular religion. Philosophical Taoism and religious Taoism are very different. For example, philosophical Taoism advocates that man cannot go against nature. However, religious Taoism seeks for immortality, which violates the natural law. Lao Tzu is considered to be the founder of philosophical Taoism. He is riding on an ox. Zhang Ling is the founder of religious Taoism. He is riding on a tiger. Shall we work on philosophical Taoism first? Taoism is attributed to the Chinese philosophers Lao Tzu and Zhuangzi. For its main sacred text, Taoism looks back to the Tao Te Ching by Lao Tzu. A second sacred text is the Book of Parables by Zhuangzi, which expresses Taoist ideas allegorically using fables. The founder of philosophical Taoism is Lao Tzu. Knowledge of Lao Tzu is so scarce that only legends remain. The first biography of Lao Tzu is found in the historical records by Sima Qian. There are 3 stories in the biography. Story 1. Lao Tzu originated from the state of Chu in late spring and autumn period. His family name was Li. His given name was Er, meaning ear. Legend goes that when Lao Tzu was born, he was wearing white hair and white beard, with very big ears, looking like an old man, thus named Lao Tzu. And he was styled Dan. Dan was his alias. As an adult, he was in charge of the royal archives. He was an archivist or librarian at the royal court of Zhou dynasty. Story 2. Once Confucius went to Zhou and consulted with Lao Tzu on ritual matters. Lao Tzu was a contemporary of Confucius, but older. Lao Tzu was so learned and knowledgeable that even Confucius consulted him. Lao Tzu's response was a critique of Confucius' teachings. Lao Tzu told Confucius to give up his stiff deportment, give up his stiff manners or bearing, and prideful airs. And Confucius was reported to have praised Lao Tzu's wisdom and to have compared him with a dragon whose abilities were beyond his understanding. Confucius told his disciples, "I know that a bird can fly, fish can swim, and a beast can run. We can catch the beast with a net. We can go fishing with fishing rod, silk line, and hook. We can shoot the bird with arrow." However, Lao Tzu can be compared to a dragon whose abilities were beyond my understanding. Story 3. Lao Tzu cultivated the way and the virtue. He strove to conceal himself and be unknown. He lived in Zhou dynasty for a long time, but seeing its decline, he decided to leave. When he reached the pass, the keeper there said to him, "Sir, you are about to retire. You must make an effort to write us a book." So Lao Tzu wrote a book in 2 parts, The Way and the Virtue, in some 5,000 characters. And then he departed. No no one knew where he went in the end. He disappeared. "Dao De Jing", classic of way and virtue, is the tenet of philosophical Taoism, the believer's canon. It is a short book of about 5,000 Chinese characters, consisting of two parts, the way and the virtue, featuring brevity and the use of analogy and paradox. It is concise and brief, using analogy and paradox. Analogy is the comparison between things which are similar in some way. And a paradox seems to be contradictory with each other. Now, shall we learn some verses from the classic of way and virtue? The Tao that can be spoken of is not the eternal Tao. The name that can be named is not the eternal name. The nameless is the origin of heaven and earth. The named is the mother of all things. Tao is undefinable, unlimited, and unnameable. Tao produced the One. The One produced the Two. The Two produced the Three. And the Three produced the 10,000 things, the myriad things. There was something nebulous, hazy, yet complete, born before heaven and earth, silent, empty, independent, and unchanging, revolving without cease. It acts as the mother of the world. I do not know its name and address it as Tao. Attempting to give it a name, I shall call it great. To be great is to pass on. To pass on is to go further and further away. To go further and further away is to return. Tao follows nature. Man follows earth. Earth follows heaven. Heaven follows Tao. And Tao follows nature. Tao guides the function of the cosmos. According to Taoism, the cosmos is harmonious and orderly. It is active, not static. Its state is one of change and variation, perpetually becoming and fading away, contracting and expanding. Tao guides the function of the cosmos. Within the Tao, yin and yang function by reciprocal action. The complete harmony between man and nature is the Taoist pursuit. Taoism emphasizes strongly the union of man and nature, suggesting that man controls his environment not by fighting it, but by cooperating with it. The world is perfect. You cannot improve it. When you are improving it, you are destroying it. Similarly, man should channel his natural feelings and instincts rather than resist them. Fish swimming in the water, birds flying in the sky, men plowing in the fields, let them be what they can be. There are three basic principles. First, be benevolent. Second, be pure. Third, do not act in advance of other people. Being benevolent means assuming an amiable attitude towards everything in the universe. Being pure means getting rid of extravagant hopes and being plain in mind and body. Not daring to act in advance of other people means being modest and humble instead of assuming an attitude of strength and dominance. Dao, translated as the way, is expressed in non-action and non-contention. Taoism advocates non-action, inaction, or effortless action, known as Wu Wei in Chinese. Man should act naturally upon objective principles, without artificiality and arbitrariness. Just follow the inevitable and achieve a peaceful state of mind. Great ingenuity appears to be stupidity. Wu Wei is also a political view, an important political view, that government is best, which governs least. In the pursuit of learning, every day something is acquired. In the pursuit of Dao, every day something is dropped. Less and less is done until non-action is achieved. When nothing is done, nothing is left undone. The world is ruled by letting things take their course. It cannot be ruled by interfering. Taoism also advocates non-contention, non-competition. Taoism values freedom from time, from care, and from entanglement with bureaucracy and power, overcoming the strong by being weak. The greatest virtue is like water, which is different from the law of jungle. Taoists often use the image of water to illustrate non-contention. Water nourishes everything, but contains for nothing. Humans tend to seek higher positions, while water always settles to the lowest level. Yet, water can wear away even the hardest of substances. Water is invincible because it desires nothing and contains for nothing. What are the differences between Taoism and Confucianism? Confucianism is a system of ethics, morality, including ritual, propriety, relationship, filial piety, loyalty, humanity, the gentleman, and the rectification of name. There are 5 relationships between ruler and minister, parent and child, elder and youngster, husband and wife, and between friends. The rectification of name is also important. Let the rulers be rulers, ministers be ministers, fathers be fathers, sons be sons. The lofty ideal is to enter the world. Taoism is a path of behavior, including the principles of Dao, De, Wu Wei, and Pu. Dao, the road, pathway, channel, or doctrine. De, the morality, virtue, or integrity. And Wu Wei, non-action, inaction, effortless action. Pu, simplicity, purity. The lofty ideal is to escape the world and be secluded and detached. There are similarities. Both are China's oldest and most pervasive, most prevalent philosophies. They arose during roughly the same period, the brilliant period called the 100 Schools of Thought, in the 6th century BC. Both philosophies, as their overarching goals, their dominant goals, seek order and harmony in one's life, in society, and in the universe. In the picture, Confucius is consulting Lao Tzu on ritual matters. Now shall we move on to religious Taoism? Here the founder of the religious Taoism, Zhang Ling, is riding on a tiger. Shall we first probe into the origins of religious Taoism? Religious Taoism is a mixture, putting together the following 4 aspects. Philosophical Taoism of the Yellow Emperor, Lao Tzu, and Zhuangzi. Yin and Yang theory, theory of 5 elements, and divination. Divination, the prediction. Ancient witchcraft, magic spell of supernatural being, like wizard and witch. Formula of immortality and alchemy. We have got an overview of the philosophical Taoism. Now let's take up the basic theories. The origins of religious Taoism included the theories of 5 elements, negative and positive theory, and 8 trigrams. Here we can see the Tai Chi diagram and the 8 trigrams. Shall we make an analysis of the theory of 5 elements? The 5 elements are the 5 substances of the universe, known as 五行 in Chinese. 五行 is used to describe interaction and relationship between phenomena. The ancient Greek philosopher Heraclitus said, "Nothing can stay still. You cannot step twice into the same river." Here, the black arrowheads form a circle, indicating the generating interaction. Wood feeds fire. Fire creates earth. Earth bears metal. Metal carries water. Water nourishes wood. The generating cycle forms a circle. The round circle is symbolic of peace and harmony. A full moon is symbolic of family reunion. The white arrowheads form a star, indicating the overcoming interaction. Wood parts earth. Earth absorbs water. Water quenches fire. Fire melts metal. Metal chops wood. The overcoming cycle forms a star. The star is symbolic of combat, conflict, struggle, and fight. The Pentagon in the US is the building of the Ministry of National Defense. The negative and positive theory features the interplay, the interaction of yin and yang. Here we can see the Tai Chi diagram, the 2 fish, based on the negative and positive theory. Shall we make an analysis of the Tai Chi diagram, diagram of the universe? The outer circle itself represents a whole, namely everything in the universe. Tai Chi is the supreme ultimate. It is the source of all things in the universe. White fish represents yang elements and is generally depicted as rising on the left. Black fish represents yin elements and is shown descending on the right. There is a small dot of the different color at the fullest point, indicating how each will transform into the other. Yin and yang function by reciprocal action. They are mutually rooted. Yin and yang are the 2 complementary forces that make up all aspects of life. Yin and yang are the 2 polar opposites into which all things can be classified. Thus, dark and light, life and death, male and female, good and evil, strong and weak are all manifestations of yin and yang. They mutually wax and wane. Yin and yang are in dynamic balance, constantly contracting and expanding. This is the process of quantitative change. They mutually transform. This is the process of qualitative change, perpetually becoming and fading away. Yin and yang are the two forms. Yang is the unbroken line, solid and hard. It is masculine or positive in character. It is active, warm, dry, bright, high, fast, moving, and creative. It can be seen in the sun, fire, day, southern side of a hill like Hengyang, and the northern bank of a river like Luoyang. Yin is the broken line, open. It is feminine or negative in nature. It is passive, cold, wet, dark, low, slow, still, and fertile. It can be seen in the moon, water, night, northern side of a hill like Huayin, southern bank of a river like Jiangyin. By putting together three lines, yin and yang, upwards, in all possible combination, 八卦, the 8 trigrams are produced to represent 8 basic elements. Here we can see the 8 trigrams in Chinese mythology. Each consists of 3 lines, either broken or unbroken. Due to their tripartite structure, they are often referred to as trigrams. When the world began, there were heaven and earth. Heaven mated with earth and gave birth to everything in the universe. Heaven is father, earth is mother. The remaining 6 are their sons and daughters. How to make the judgment whether the trigram is negative or positive? If there's only one single broken line, the trigram is negative. From bottom to top, wind is negative, the eldest daughter. Fire is negative, the second daughter. Lake is negative, the youngest daughter. If there is only one single unbroken line, in that case, the trigram is positive. From bottom to top, thunder is positive, the eldest son. Water is positive, the second son. Mountain is positive, the youngest son. Here is 伏羲八卦, or earlier heaven 八卦, or prenatal 8 trigrams arrangement. In the order of heaven, lake, fire, thunder, wind, water, mountain, and earth. In this arrangement, the inside is the bottom, The outside is the top. In this arrangement, the inside is the top. The outside is the bottom. Now, shall we probe into the history of Taoism as a religious belief? Some branches of Taoism can date back to prehistoric time. During the Eastern Han Dynasty, Zhang Ling established the Heavenly Teacher sect, also known as the 5 pecks of rice sect. 5 pecks roughly equal 10 gallons or 50 liters. Each follower must contribute 5 pecks of rice. Afterwards, Zhang Jiao, the peasant rebel leader, set up another sect named Taiping Dao. Taiping meaning peace. And later, the 5 pecks of rice sect became the major sect. Taoism was held in esteem in the Tang Dynasty, highly praised then, and it reached the acme, the climax, in the Song Dynasty. During the Yuan Dynasty, the 2 major Taoist sects were the Complete Unity sect in the north and the True Unity sect in the south. Taoism was on the wane in the Ming Dynasty and declined in the Qing Dynasty. Up till now, it somehow revived. What are the differences between the 2 major sects? The True Unity sect in the south believed in driving out devils by calling in the gods and averting disasters through prayer. Its priests could marry and have meat and wine except during special fasting period. The Complete Unity sect in the north emphasized self-cultivation and immortality. Its priests had to renounce home life, practice vegetarianism, and remain unmarried. Later, True Unity sect became more influential. The formulas of immortality and witchcraft fall into 2 schools, the alchemy school and talisman school. The alchemy school was prevalent in the upper class, seeking the elixir of life, the formula of immortality. The talisman school was popular in the lower class, the common folk, featuring magic symbols, spells, and incantations. Here we can see the alchemy stove and talisman. Taoism was associated with alchemy, a practical way of seeking the elixir of life, the formula of immortality. Since the ingredients used for preparing elixirs included arsenic and mercury, which are very toxic and poisonous. They sometimes had the opposite effect to the one intended. More than one Chinese emperor died of elixir poisoning. Here is the alchemy stove. The Taoist talisman was mainly composed of Chinese characters, animals, constellations, weapons, and geometric patterns. Here are the talisman, praying for wind, soil, fine weather, and rain, respectively. These talismans are praying for everlasting marriage, obedience, and going back home, respectively. Hope the man and woman can enjoy happy life together. Now let's have a look at the major deities enshrined in Taoist temples and monasteries. There are 3 levels: God, immortal, and protective deity. The first level is God, including triple purity, 4 heavenly emperors, and 3 gods. The triple purity, like the supreme purity, the supreme patriarch, the 4 heavenly emperors, like the Jade Emperor, etc., and the 3 gods, the god of heaven, earth, and water. The second level is immortal, such as Zhenwu the Great, Lord of Great Learning, Star of Literature, 8 Immortals, and Mazu, the Marine Goddess. The third level is protective deity, like the god of martial valor and Wang Lingguan. The first level is God. The triple purity includes supreme purity, jade purity, and upper purity. The supreme purity is Lao Tzu. Here is the painting of Lao Tzu with flowing white beard, showing the outstanding behavior like that of immortal and sage. Here is the statue of Lao Tzu, the supreme patriarch, carved in the Song dynasty in Quanzhou. Here are the 4 heavenly emperors. Among them, Jade Emperor is most powerful. The Earth Empress is a female deity. The other 2 are emperors of constellations, like Emperor of the Big Dipper, Emperor of the North Star. Here is the mural of Jade Emperor in Yongle Palace, Ruichen, Shanxi Province. The 3 gods are also popular among people, because the heaven god blesses the people, earth god pardons the people, and water god dispels disasters. The second level is immortal. Taoists believe in immortality. The immortals breathe in wind, drink dew, ride the clouds, and wander about. They are detached, secluded, and free from earthly worries. Man and woman can expect to achieve the way and longevity, even immortality, if they give themselves up to unremitting cultivation, never stopping cultivation. Popular immortals include Zhen Wu the Great, of Mount Wudang, God of the North, Lord of Great Learning, Star of Literature. The image of Star of Literature is rather unique. His figure is made up of 8 Chinese characters, meaning cultivate oneself and returning to propriety. He is holding an inkstone in one hand and raising a writing brush in the other. He is stepping on the head of a turtle, kicking the Big Dipper, kicking the North Star, implying taking the first place in the imperial examination. The fairy tale 8 Immortals Crossing the Sea is very popular. It has its origin in Taoism. There is a saying, 8 immortals crossing the sea, each displaying his or her special prowess. His special prowess, the great skill. Cao Guojiu is wearing formal court dress and carrying castanets. Castanet, the percussion instrument. Zhang Guolao is an old man riding a donkey backward, facing the tail, carrying 2 drumsticks. The percussion instrument made of bamboo, the fish-shaped drum. Han Xiangzi is a happy immortal that is always seen playing a flute. Han Zhongli is a fat man showing his bare belly, always carrying a fan. Zhongli is his compound surname. He is a general of the Han dynasty, thus he is called Han Zhongli. He Xingu is a female immortal, carrying with her a magical lotus flower. Lan Caihe is wearing a tattered blue gown and only one shoe, with a basket of flowers in hand. Li Tieguan is a lame beggar, carrying a gourd. He is crippled. Lü Dongbing is very much admired in Chinese folklore. Upon his back, he wears a magic sword, and in his hand he carries a fly whisk. The fly whisk is used to brush away the dust, to keep clear of earthly worries and be detached and secluded. Here are the magic instruments used by the 8 immortals, known as hidden 8 immortals, symbolic of longevity, being auspicious. They are gourd, sword, fan, drumsticks, lotus blossom, basket of flowers, flute, and castanets. Another Taoist immortal is the mythological Mazu. Mazu, literally meaning mother ancestor, is the indigenous goddess of the sea, who is said to protect fishermen and sailors, and is invoked as the patron deity. Born as Lin Moniang in Fujian province around 960, worship of Mazu began around the Ming Dynasty, when many Taoist temples dedicated to her were erected. Mazu is widely worshipped in southeastern coast and Southeast Asia, especially Fujian and Taiwan. Here is the temple of Mazu in Macau. Macau is the local dialect of Mazu, the Fujian dialect, meaning mother. The third level is protective deity. Guan Yu is worshipped in Confucianism, Buddhism, and Taoism, all the 3 ideological streams of China. He is honored as the military sage, the military saint in Confucianism. He is the protective god in Buddhism. He is worshipped as the Lord of martial valor in Taoism. There are numerous temples of Guan Yu in the countryside, just like the countless temples of Confucius in the towns. In Beijing Opera, he is wearing a red face. Another protective deity is Wang Lingguan. He has a red face, wearing red beard and gold armor, looking awesome, majestic, and powerful. Besides, folk Taoism has a god for almost everything. It has gods of the sun, the moon, stars, wind, rain, fire, thunder, lightning, mountains, and rivers. It also has gods of the town, land, door, kitchen, and wealth. People also worship the 3 stars, stars of fortune, prosperity, and longevity. These gods are enshrined in Taoist temples and monasteries. Their icons are also found in many homes, especially in the countryside. City gods or town gods are deities in Chinese mythology, responsible for the affairs of the city. Here we can see the city god in the middle, flanked by civil official and a military officer. There are 3 city gods guarding the city of Shanghai. Here is Huo Guang. He was a general of the Eastern Han Dynasty. The second city god was Qin Yubo, a general of the Ming Dynasty. And the third city god was Chen Huachen, a modern hero. God of the land is an indigenous earth god, portrayed as an elderly man with long white beard, a golden hat, and a golden robe, signifying his position as a bureaucrat. He carries a wooden staff in his right hand and a gold ingot in his left hand. And the god and the goddess of the land here are rude, rustic, and amusing. Door god is believed to keep evil spirits from entering. People put up door gods and red couplets at the front gate to keep away demons. Kitchen god is believed to be in charge of every household's fortune and misfortune. Every year he would report to the Jade Emperor on the good and evil of the household he supervised. He was worshipped on the 23rd day of the 12th lunar month, the day he reportedly ascended to heaven. He returned on the eve of the Spring Festival. Here is the traditional kitchen, and people worship the kitchen god on the 23rd day of the 12th lunar month. People worship the god of wealth in the hope of achieving big fortunes. The birthday of the god of wealth falls on the 5th day of the first lunar month. People set off firecrackers at the night of the 4th day of the first lunar month to greet the god of wealth. If you spend the Spring Festival in China, you will find it very difficult to go to sleep at that night. Here, the god of wealth is holding gold ingot, bringing in wealth and treasure. In Spring Festival, Chinese people often say, "Wish you prosperity." Chinese people also worship the 3 stars, stars of fortune, prosperity, and longevity. Fortune star, Fu star, is generally depicted in scholar's dress, holding a baby or surrounded by children. The character Fu is often put upside down, signifying that fortune has arrived, because reverse and arrive are homophone. Prosperity star, Lu star, is usually depicted in court dress and jade belt, holding jade as you wish. As you wish was originally used to scratch and itch, then became an ornament, being auspicious and well-content. Lu is the official's salary. Longevity star, Shou star, is usually shown smiling friendly. carrying a peach. The old man with long white beard and protruding forehead is holding a walking stick with a gourd hanging down. Taoism has a great many classics. The collection of Taoist classics, known as daoizem, was prepared in the Ming Dynasty. The encyclopedia has over 5,000 volumes. A large proportion is biographical, concerning the lives of immortals or noteworthy mortals. It is a tremendous treasury which cannot be overestimated. However, it is underestimated now. The collection of Taoist classics has over 5,000 volumes. However, the number in use is not great. The Taoist classics in use include 道德经, classic of way and virtue, a philosophical poem of 5,000 characters in rhyme, the tenet of philosophical Taoism, the believer's canon, canon of quietism, teaching people to keep clear of earthly desires so as to achieve inner peace. The canon of the Jade Emperor, extolling and praising Jade Emperor. The Yellow Yard classics, written in verse with 7 characters to a line, teaching the way of Taoist cultivation. Now, shall we come to the 4 famous mountains of Taoism? Mount Wudang ranks the first. Located in Shiyan, Hubei province, a mountain of the complete unity sect. Mount Longhu is located in Yingtan, Jiangxi province, being the ancestral chamber of true unity sect. Mount Qiyun is located in Huangshan, Anhui province, a mountain of true unity sect. Mount Qingcheng is located in Dujiangye, Sichuan province, a mountain of the complete unity sect. Mount Wudang ranks the first. It is a mountain of the complete unity sect. 3 celebrities are worth mentioning here. Wudang was named after Zhenwu the Great. He tried to make the elixir of immortality and cultivate vital energy here. He achieved the way and became immortal. Wudang is famous for its Taoist Kung Fu. Legend goes that Zhang Sanfeng on Mount Wudang created Tai Chi after he had witnessed a fight between a crane and a snake. The crane could not catch the snake because the snake always moved in curves. Zhang Sanfeng enjoyed longevity. He was 212 years old, living from the Southern Song Dynasty through Yuan Dynasty to Ming Dynasty. Wudang style Tai Chi is widespread in China, especially Wudang sword. Li Shizhen, a great physician, revised his monumental masterpiece, Compendium of Materia Medica, in the Yellow Dragon Cave here. It is a great pharmacopoeia, completed in 1578. Here are the illustrations of the medicinal herbs. Mount Longhu in Jiangxi province is the ancestral chamber of the True Unity sect. Longhu literally meaning dragon and a tiger. When Zhang Daolin of the Eastern Han Dynasty succeeded in making the elixir of immortality, dragon and a tiger appeared here. Thus the name of the mountain. Mount Longhu features Danxia landform, like glowing red clouds. Mount Qiyun in Anhui province is a mountain of True Unity sect. Qiyun literally meaning level with cloud. Mount Qiyun features Hui style architecture, cliff inscription, and a Danxia landform. Hui style architecture features white wall and black tile, looking like the ink painting, and the wall in the shape of horse head is fireproofing, known as wind and fire wall. The inscription on precipice is really imposing. Here the 4 Chinese characters on the cliff means celestial elegance. Mount Qiyun also features Danxia landform, resembling glowing red clouds. Mount Qingchen in Sichuan province is a mountain of the Complete Unity sect. It is serene, secluded, and detached. Here we can get a bird's eye view of the Water Conservancy project, Dujiangye. It was built more than 2,000 years ago, yet still in use now. It resembles the fish mouth, channeling the water ingeniously. The Upper Purity Palace is unfathomable, subtle, and mysterious. The Complete Unity sect was created by Wang Qian, a fictional character of the Southern Song dynasty. The Complete Unity sect emphasized self-cultivation and the elixir of immortality instead of talisman. Its priests had to renounce home life, practice vegetarianism, and remain unmarried. The ancient storied temple is located in Mount Zhongnan, Shanxi province. It was the first Taoist temple known as the ancestor of Taoist temple. Yongle Palace is located in Ruicheng City, Shanxi Province. It is a typical Yuan Dynasty architecture dedicated to the immortal Lü Dongbing. Yongle Palace is famous for its Taoist mural, just like Dunhuang is well known for its Buddhist fresco. Here we can appreciate the Taoist murals with flowing lines, artistic and gorgeous. So much for today. Thank you very much.